Hey everyone. So I just want to talk about how great this second round of the playoffs has been so far and is shaping up to be for the rest of the round. Um, this is where we sit right now as far as this series are concerned. Nashville and Winnipeg. Winnipeg leads 2 games to 1. Vegas versus San Jose. Vegas leads 2 games to 1. Tampa Bay versus Boston is tied 1-1. They play game 3 tonight. And Washington versus Pittsburgh is Washington up 2-1. And this round has just been absolutely fantastic, and this is the beauty of playoff hockey. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night, and when you look at these series, we have no clue who is going to win yet. All of these series could legitimately go 7 games, and for all the people that complain about the current playoff format, I don't get it because I absolutely love the current playoff format. It basically forces you to go through your division, which means you play division rivals in the first 2 rounds, and it's just absolutely awesome. I think that this breeds the best hockey for sure, and the most, the best matchups. And a lot of people are like, well, having Boston and Tampa Bay play in the second round is too early. They should meet in the conference final potentially. Washington and Pittsburgh aren't slouches. There's no guarantee that Boston and Tampa Bay would have been the conference final. Um, with this format the way it is now, you get ridiculously good divisional matchups and strong rivalries early on in the playoffs. And you also get extremely close series early on in the playoffs. Listen, the Stanley Cup final and the conference final is going to be really intense and really good no matter who's playing, okay? Like, just because of what's at stake, it's going to be really good. This format makes the first 2 rounds just as good. And this year was kind of a down year as far as the first round goes. But since they've switched to the new format, this is really the first time that that's happened, where we've had a not so great first round with a lot of series over early. Generally, this format has led to incredible matchups throughout the playoffs and really close series. And we're seeing that again in this second round. Incredibly close series. You look at Nashville was the favorite in this series, and Winnipeg's up 2 games to 1. This series was pretty much a 50-50 dead heat as far as who was predicted to win, and Vegas is up 2 games to 1. Pittsburgh was the favorite in this series because of the Capitals' inability to win in the playoffs generally. But Washington's up 2 games to 1. This series, Tampa Bay was the favorite, and it's tied 1-1. Boston's already stolen a game in Tampa Bay. I mean, you look at other sports, like the NBA, you know who's going to win until you get to at least the conference final. And even then, it's generally the same teams in the finals over and over again. Like, you know who's going to win in the NBA. In the NFL, it's generally not much of a game until you get to the league championship games, the AFC championship and the NFC championship. The rounds before that are generally just walkthroughs. Hockey is the only sport where you have series throughout the playoffs where it's just you have no idea who's going to win each and every time out. I mean, even the first round series that we thought were fairly a given, like Tampa Bay over New Jersey. That one ended in 5 games and went pretty much according to plan. But Colorado pushed Nashville to 6 games. I mean, that was not an easy series by any stretch for the Nashville Predators, even though they were the top seed and Colorado was the bottom. You just don't get that in other sports. And just you look at how these series are now, we have no clue who's going to win these series, and I think every single one of these series has a strong chance of being 2-2 after 4 games, and that is just unbelievably good. And it's why playoff hockey is one of the many reasons playoff hockey is so much better than the playoffs in all the other sports. It's just so close and so tight, and literally any of these teams can beat any of the other teams. I mean, every team left in the playoffs is a very good hockey team. There is no team left that you look at and go, they're clearly lesser than the team that they're playing. It's just you don't have it. And it's just I don't. So many people complain about the current format and they want it going back to a 1 through 8 setup, or some even talk about a 1 through 16 and ignore the conferences, which I think is extremely stupid. You would get awful first round and even second round series between cross conference teams that never see each other. There's no rivalry there. That doesn't make for good playoff hockey. What makes for good playoff hockey is division rivals and teams that hate each other facing off. I mean, look at what we're getting in Nashville and Winnipeg. That series has been the epitome of big boy hockey. I mean, they've been all over each other with stick work, massive hits. Got their first fight of the series last night with Trouba and Bonino. Bonino doesn't even fight, and he's dropping the gloves in this series. Tampa Bay and Boston, those teams have really disliked each other over the last 10 years or so. That's been a building rivalry, and Boston sure has traditional rivals like the Maple Leafs, Canadiens, and Rangers, but them and Tampa Bay is building into a great modern rivalry. Washington and Pittsburgh, ever since it's been Ovechkin versus Crosby, I mean, that's been a rivalry, and it's just they're meeting in the playoffs for the third straight year. That makes great playoff hockey. Vegas and San Jose. Vegas obviously is brand new, but they're playing a division opponent in this round. I mean, that is what makes me want to watch. Last night the Nashville and Winnipeg game and the Washington and Pittsburgh game were only half an hour apart, which made me have to pick one to watch one. That was an extremely tough decision for me. I ended up focusing on Nashville and Winnipeg, but that was such a hard decision because I didn't want to miss any of it. The playoff format right now I think is so good, where you have to go through your division. It makes the first few rounds so good, and then the conference final is going to be great no matter what. I mean, look, if you get Boston versus Pittsburgh, you're telling me that that's not going to be a great series? I mean, come on. You get Tampa Bay versus Pittsburgh. That won't be great. Boston versus Washington. Like, what's wrong with that? Why can't Boston and Tampa Bay play in the second round? That's a great matchup. Washington and Pittsburgh, that's a great matchup. Go out west. You're telling me that Vegas versus Winnipeg wouldn't be absolutely awesome and insane? Look at the buildings that they play in and how nuts and the atmosphere there. And really, Nashville versus San Jose wouldn't be a great conference final? Like, come on. There is nothing wrong with the current playoff format. I like having the wild cards because it allows a team or a division that's clearly better than the other in their conference to get 5 teams in, like the Metro did over the Atlantic this year. But I think if they were going to tweak anything, maybe just make it the top 4 from each division get in. But I don't mind the wild cards because it allows for that, a better division to get more teams in. But we are seeing such great hockey in this round. And after the first round was a bit of a letdown. But again, this was the first year where it was kind of not a great first round. But, think that's going to happen every once in a while. There's really nothing you can do to avoid that. And I don't expect that to be a trend. I think that this year was an anomaly with all the short series and, blowout games that weren't really close. This second round is completely made up for. It's been incredible hockey so far, and really, really great matchups. And we are just getting to see the best that the NHL has to offer. Excuse me, and it's awesome. And I watch every single night. I watch as many games as I possibly can because, this is peak NHL hockey. And the next round's going to be just as good. Like I said, no matter who comes out of this and what the conference final matchups are, it's going to be fantastic. Nashville versus either of these teams would be great. Winnipeg versus either of these teams will be great. Pittsburgh versus either Tampa Bay or Boston will be great. Washington versus Tampa Bay or Boston will be great. There are no bad matchups left, and it's only the second round. That is what makes the NHL great. That is what makes the Stanley Cup playoffs great. And we are just getting to witness some absolutely fantastic hockey. So I hope you all are enjoying this round as much as I am, and I expect the rest of the playoffs to be just as good. It's been incredible to watch, and we are seeing some fantastic the hockey being played and the best the sport has to offer. So thank you guys very much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Go check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links in the description. Keep this channel growing. We want the subscriber count to keep going, the view count to keep going. Just trying to spread the word about this channel. So thank you to everyone who watches, and I will talk to you guys very soon.